Hey everybody, Mitch here to let you know how you can help support Pause Your Game. Head on over to pauseyourgame.com and click on our Amazon affiliate link. Every purchase you make through our affiliate link, a portion of each sales will go and help support this show. This allows us to make more episodes, more extra bits, more articles, and especially more giveaways. So head over now to pauseyourgame.com and help support the show.
Hello everyone, we are back this week.
Yeah, not just me. Not just me.
Yes, it's not just a Mitchell monologue.
Mitchell monologue.
I don't like this whole let's use Mitch's full name.
Yeah,
here.
I know that
Mitchell.
Yeah, nobody else knows this, but now for the internet and now for the podcast audience, yeah, he doesn't like his name, the full version of his name.
I don't like being called my full name. It's not like I'm against it. I'm not.
He doesn't like it. Yeah. This is part of me being an inside, poking the bear kind of thing.
There's only a few people, as I put
There's
it,
been a lot of bear poking
who qualify for this, that privilege. You have to be a certain standing, with me to use my full first name. But we have a jam fucking packed episode.
It's a giant episode. So we're making up for our last 2 weeks, right?
Episode.
Yeah, all these assholes, got together.
Yep.
Brad is there. He's just not during the intro.
Yeah.
But he is definitely in this episode.
He's definitely in this episode. We cover a lot of material. It's an hour and a half of material. So I know you guys are usually used to a podcast that is about a half hour shorter than this one, but it's worth listening to this one all the way through. So that's what you have to look forward to ahead. It's 90 minutes of actual goodness, on here. So we talk about
tasty news.
Mitch, you want to cover that stuff, or
stay a while and listen?
Stay a while, listen.
Stay a while
and listen.
We got that. Yeah. So we talked about Twitch plays Fallout 3,
which is always an ongoing running gag type thing.
Nintendo's new patent.
Yep.
All right.
We
PS4,
try to figure that out.
PS4 getting early access games. Don't forget to use the hashtag GamePacks to send in your favorite.
Hashtag Game Packs.
Yeah, we want to hear your favorite, tongue-in-cheek game pack idea.
Mine is the Fool's Pass instead of the Founder's Pack. The Fool's Pack.
You just gotta add pack to whatever your thing is, like the.
It's got to be snarky and good. Yeah, that's right. Waiting in queue for 3 hours pack.
That's right. Yeah. So send in your game pack. We want to see them. Use the hashtag GamePacks. We talk about kids growing up terribly with mobile devices instead of consoles.
Which I'm okay
get off
with.
My fucking lawn.
Yeah.
I'm just angry that they're growing up with fucking Candy Crush instead of Pokemon.
Because it's bullshit.
It's bullshit. It is. And
Mitch is getting older. He's showing it.
Right. Angry old man.
He's like, you kids don't grow up with the same games I grew up with now, and I can't respect you for that. So,
all right.
In my day, we used to play other kinds of games. So
we sat there.
What?
We would just sit there and play games and not go
right,
places
exactly, and not go anywhere. You don't always have to be on the go, you damn kids.
That's right. Yeah. But it was in your hand. You could. I mean, it's perfect for kids because kids don't like sitting around. They just need to get up and move for no reason, right? So a handheld console is perfect.
Right. Even though you accomplish this feat over and over again.
Yeah. Look, that's how I use handheld consoles. If you don't know how I play a fucking 3DS or my Vita or anything, I move throughout the house. Right. So I start in my room,
that's
right?
Point, right?
And then one of these days we'll actually have a collage of pictures of him in different positions playing his
I got a lot of time on my hands lately. I've been very much debating I might just go to a park and just fucking
get your vitamin D. Yeah,
it'll be a whole video of Mitch sitting in different places playing.
I'll put it on fucking Periscope. You can go watch me play in different places.
Right. That would be amazing. Actually, you just have some really funny music going on.
Right.
Just me mashing buttons.
That's right.
Just on a park bench,
sitting inside one of those old malls, an old mall bench or whatever. Nobody else is around.
I'm just getting really into Monster Hunter or something. Yeah. But we had some beefy bites.
Yes.
These are jam packed with 100% protein for your daily gaming news discussion. Weekly.
This is a 9-course
daily,
meal.
weekly, whatever.
Well, we don't want you to overdose,
Yeah, no, it's too much.
So we talk about eSports, TBS broadcasting eSports, and we talk about DraftKings.
The bullshit station.
Yeah, the bullshit station. And DraftKings adding an eSports option. So we got that, and then we also have I always forget how to phrase this terribly. We talk about the recent UN hearing about violence against, what is it? It's cyber violence against women.
Yeah.
And then, you know, a few key people who were there that seem to incite a lot of rage wherever they go. So, but we can't give everything away, but I'm sure you can probably infer. You can infer.
It'll be another fucking hour of intro.
Yeah. So that's what you have to look forward to. It's a great episode, but first we got to talk about what the hell have we been playing? We haven't done that in a while.
Well, I have not been playing much anything besides Beyond Earth because I'm kind of like warming up for Rising Tide, which is coming in less than 2 weeks. You know, it's October the 9th. You'll want to get it. It's looking to be. You'll want to get it. Yes, it's looking to be a great expansion, and it's introducing 4 new factions as well as a number of great different additions to the game. This is what Sid Meier and Firaxis is commendable for, because when they do an expansion, they really dynamically change the game when they do it well, such as Brave New World. So it's one of those things where Rising Tide looks to be the same kind of expansion. They're adding the diplomacy element of the game in a way that they've never had it before, I don't think. And they're adding on entirely new way to play as far as water cities and things like that. So we'll definitely be doing a special on that. We've already agreed on that, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Beth,
I've just been doing Diablo, really.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing later.
Hardcore seasonal. Yeah, that's right.
That's what we're gonna be doing. I've named it the. Name might change, but so far we're going with the Sunday Hardcore Fun Time Diablo 3 stream.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. It's beautiful.
All right.
It's beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've been trying to make our stream names a bit ridiculous.
I'd love to see the acronym for that.
SHFTD 3S.
SHFTD.
And then the delayed 3S.
Can you just imagine somebody trying to advertise that in like the Sunday voice?
Oh yeah, I mean, come on down now to your SHFTD stream happening at 8 o'clock. By the time you listen to this, it'll already have happened.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'll make a lovely graphic for it. Don't you worry.
He's already
you've been playing Diablo.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I think that's pretty much it. I haven't really been doing a lot, just a lot of work. So.
A lot of work.
Nothing great.
I've been. Let's see. We got the soundboard. I got the soundboard for the fucking show.
So excited about the fucking soundboard.
That's right. Really excited about being able to, just throw in stuff like. Objection! That's perfect.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I got more. Don't worry.
Yes, he does.
There's a few that I never got around to use. Yeah, there's some good ones. For as far as playing, let's see. What the hell have I? You know what? I did. What did I wrap up on PlayStation 4? I beat Infamous Second Son. That has some weird pacing issues for a game, but it is fun. It's fun once you get into it a little. Once you get more of the powers.
There you go.
Gets fun. And
powers.
Then I've been doing some. Oh, you know what? I beat Rise, Son of Rome.
Oh, how was that?
It was a very underrated game. I understand the complaints that people had that it's a bit repetitive, but it's just fun. Like it's kind of like I've heard people describe it this way, and I agree with them. It's like, you remember those arcade games where you had like that side-scrolling beat 'em up, and and they weren't that deep. No. Of like a complexity.
It was just waves of enemies.
But they were fun, right? They were still fun.
Yeah, and because you pumped quarters in, you kept beating enemies up.
Right. Rise is like the modern version of that. That's what I feel like that's what it is. It's the modern version. It's not a deep combat system. It is a fun one, though. And the setting's cool because, you're a Roman legionnaire, so that's always neat. You got to throw up them shields.
That's right. Them shields.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing. So I think that's about it. Is that all we're... We had a bunch of stuff this week. If you missed out, what happened? We had a new article by moi. No, was it me?
I've got one coming.
Dude, you don't even know if it was you.
Optimistic
sure
hopes
anymore.
to get this out this coming week. I'm not making any promises, but it's in the works. It's being cooked.
And Beth might get around to one too.
Yeah, eventually. I don't know.
Yeah, one of these days. One of these
I'm
days we'll get her.
I'm on the fence. I'm not sure what the hell to write about at this point.
One of these days we'll get her on a steady stream of articles.
Writing, God.
One of these or something.
It's the ideas part that kills me. Like, I just can't.
You're overthinking it.
Yeah, I think I might be.
I think you are. We'll get you there soon enough. Don't you worry.
All right.
But yeah.
Mitch
So
will
that's
cheer
about...
you on, provide moral support until you do.
That's right. That's what we're calling it. Moral support.
Moral support. Yes.
Yes.
Hey, where's your article? Hey, where's your article? Hey, where's your article?
Right.
I do occasionally do that. I mean, I admit I do space them out though.
Yeah.
I will send you one every couple of days. I'm like, did you think of
couple
any
of
article ideas yet?
Like, what are you doing on your articles, buddy? It's like,
How's that going? So yeah, we got a long episode. It's a good long episode. Don't forget to check out extra bit that I did talking about. We link it up a little in this episode. You can go check out my latest article on the website. Look forward to more articles by the rest of us. Don't forget that you can always help out Pause Your Game. Head on over to the website. Hit up our affiliate link and buy your favorite games through that affiliate link and then help us out. It's that kind of help that allows us the ability to put stuff like this.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Into the podcast and it's stuff like that. And
that was the most ham-handed thing I've ever seen.
So hammy.
I just needed to put that in there, so yeah.
But that's the best one,
it's ham. It's the best because I had to ham it in there, and it's the hammiest of all of them.
Yes, it really is.
Yes, it was perfect.
I mean, there's some meta ham.
Yes, that's some meta ham going on.
Meta ham. Oh my God.
So yeah,
breaking that fourth ham.
I'm going to shut up there. That's a great ending. We'll wrap it up there. I hope you enjoy the episode.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
Ready? Here we go.
Let's do this.
And we are back, unbeknownst to our listeners,
for the third time.
This is the third. My God, if there was an outtakes reel.
Oh my God. Fucking disaster.
Yeah, Jesus.
What was it again, Beth?
Babytown Frolics.
Babytown Frolics.
Babytown Frolics.
And here we are. We bring in this new technology, right? We're all like, finally,
I'm gonna
we
get
have
you
a soundboard. We
Yes,
set it up.
We actually have a soundboard due to your.
That's literally the
your
only way to
overwhelming
describe today's
support of the
podcast.
That's
We're
right.
able to-
So we invite everybody to,
Stay a while and listen.
and then there we go. That's all.
See, aren't you glad? Aren't you glad
waited
you
your
stuck
whole
with
fucking
us
life to do
for
that.
like 102 episodes?
Right, he really
It's
has.
this is
God.
episode 103,
He really
right?
has.
Let it be known
so.
that episode
Yeah.
103, beyond the two
This is the
episodes,
episode.
I'm calling the Mitch monologues. So
They're
Mitch
Mitch monologues.
Yeah.
I called them a monologue.
Yeah. The Mitchell monologues. So
Yes. So we got a bunch of news. So
Yeah.
let's not take too much time on this intro because we have a whole intro for it, and let's dive right in.
All right.
there you
Sounds
go.
good.
See, he's gonna
Fucking
love
hell.
good sounds.
Wow.
All episode, guys. All episode.
There's a couple
Oh,
more
God.
we'll use, but these are great.
He can't wait to break them all out.
I cannot.
Oh,
I'm
geez.
so excited for these to work.
They're gonna get so lame so quick.
I'll try
That's
not to
why.
over-
That's why you need to get more. You need more
Yeah,
songs.
you're right. That's the
Yeah,
only
we
way to
need
make them
more.
less lame is to keep them fresh.
Right.
That's right.
So, all right. So
Nice.
let's go right into the bits. So first up is we have a new patent by Nintendo. All right. Now what it does is, I don't know if you guys are looking at the pictures right now, but you should go look at the pictures. What it does is it has a linear image sensor, and it faces outwards of the console. So what it can do is it can scan things around the actual fake console that they show in the picture. So what they show in one of the figures is like an amiibo just kind of chilling. Well, I don't know why they use a rat on the amiibo, but it's very clearly an amiibo. and it's like, you know, like a foot away from the console, and it's interfacing with it. And then they got a bunch of other pictures of how it works and stuff like that. But it's interesting.
So basically,
I wonder if this is gonna have to be one of these things where it's loaded, where it's already been pre-scanned, but now that it's sitting by it, it recognizes.
Maybe.
Could be, or maybe it's a way to have a bunch of them. You could have like a horde of them.
Way, it's on its way to recognizing that there are things in and around the actual device that it's starting to recognize and map. So,
So is this where Skynet
Yes.
starts
Yes.
right here at
Yes.
Nintendo?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I wanted to get out.
that's right.
This
yeah.
is Skynet.
This is
Okay.
9/27,
All right.
2015. So I think we're on track.
Yeah,
yeah.
All right.
You know,
That
this
seems
is,
about
this
right.
Is, this is kind of where it starts. You know, we already have machines that recognize your voice and talk back to you. So I mean, yeah, it's coming. You know, and we have those robot
All right.
dogs that they've already made. So.
We've had
Robot
robot
dog.
dogs for years. I don't know
Yeah,
what
but
you're
these
talking
dogs
about.
actually like stand up after tripping on a stick or something. You know, these.
Oh,
are
that was like,
Diesel-powered-
I remember those.
diesel-powered
Those
dogs.
are cute as fuck. Those are
Oh,
adorable.
Yeah, adorable
Uh-oh.
until they mount like machine guns on them or
Right.
lasers or whatever.
Yeah.
So they literally
This is
become the
terrible.
cavalry.
On the frickin' dogs.
Yeah, could
Yeah.
you imagine
And
that
then
as like an enemy?
if they come from Japan, they'll have like cute little faces on them. You know that.
Little kawaii faces.
So to make him look
Yeah,
friendly,
like, it'll-
and then
like-
you forget about the machine guns.
That's
mounted
right.
on the
It'll be
side of it.
overly cute and everything, and shouting things like, "Please don't run. We want you to have a nice
Right.
day." So, yeah.
So yeah, we
dog.
got that going on. A lot of people think this is for the NX. So, but they don't. What they
what
show.
else would
they-
it be for, though?
I don't fuck. Yeah, but I mean, Nintendo makes patents just to have patents.
Right.
Just,
They
just
don't-
they have a
This is
team
true.
just sitting there and be like,
Right. No, I mean, some
Let's
guy
make
came up with
shit.
something cool, and they're like, "We love it, patent it." We
Well,
don't
they're
know when
already
we'll
kind
use
of
it.
behind
Yeah.
the curve, so it's one of those things where it's like for Nintendo to jump out ahead would be very disconcerting. It's
Well,
too
I don't
much
know about
power.
that. I mean, the Wii U didn't even make the 10-year life cycle, so
Well, nothing's the 10-year life cycle anymore.
Yeah.
That
there
10,
is
a
no-
lot of people.
there is no 10-year life cycle.
Right, a lot
like
of
a
the
3-year life
360 and the
cycle.
PS3 was an anomaly. Like no other console cycle has done that. That was
Yeah.
everybody else is like this 4 to 6 year area. So yeah,
Yeah.
the three
I don't even think the Wii U's been around for 4 years, has it?
we used been 2012.
God,
So 3.
that's 3. Yeah.
Yeah,
3.
I think
They
it's
got
I
one
think
more
it's
before
4
they can
by
let
this
the
Getting
November.
long in the tooth.
Yeah,
For them, apparently so.
yeah. So it's getting there.
All right.
The next thing we got, we have another Twitch Plays. Twitch Plays
Yes.
has evolved into Fallout 3.
We always have to cover this. I
love
it.
covering these.
Yeah.
Because you know
Yeah.
what, their progress is few and far between until they start making progress, and then it's like the game's beat.
Huge news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes like from this is a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that the first 2 days we're staring at a wall. Just wanna.
I just love this article title. It's off to a terrible start.
I just love how they're in a wall. I don't know where they're at now. I just pulled it up. Screen is blank.
Oh.
So
Well, isn't it really an exercise in coordination? I mean, it really
it's,
isn't.
it's an exercise.
It's
Well,
an exercise
cooperation,
in
really.
Cooperation
order-
and coordination. Yes, exactly. Collaboration.
which doesn't
cooperation,
happen at
coordination.
all with anybody.
No, not in Twitch. Not
Well,
with
it does.
Twitch.
It can happen. I think that it happened. What was it? The other game? The wall,
Oh, it
in the
crashed.
hallway. Oh, did it crash?
That's what they said. That like, okay, so the first 2 days we're staring at a wall, then today it's crashed.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit unstable after a while, but yeah. What was the
You
other
don't
game they were
say.
doing? That
Dark
Souls.
Souls, I
Dark
thought.
Souls. Okay.
This all
I'm-
started with Pokemon.
But they were able
Yeah.
to like get this going at some point, right?
I think what it is that it essentially has to boil down to, okay, the first couple days you get a lot of people that are just
Being
fuck
idiots.
everything
throwing
over.
out commands to fuck everything over. And then you get the people later on at night where, the fuckheads leave, and then you can actually make some
So
progress.
really,
Yeah.
it's the
So,
kind of people that are
it's really
that are
get-
part of the amalgamation of Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of the trolls, and then the game plays
Yeah.
fine. That's basically what it
So
boils
people
down
who
to.
want to work together and people who don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, but unfortunately at the beginning you get a lot more, and then they'll get bored because they're like, oh, this actually isn't going anywhere because I'm trolling too hard, and then they leave.
Right.
and then the actual people that will coordinate and will get things done will get things done.
Mm-hmm. Well, right now it's
So-
crashed, so nobody's
Yeah.
getting anything done.
There's nothing.
Well, no,
happening.
nobody's moving.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love
Oh.
when Twitch plays. I don't know why. I would love if Twitch did like other things than play. They need like a Twitch does real life or something.
No,
like somebody
God, why?
just. I don't
Again.
know. I think it'd be cool. Like you have somebody
they would
walk
be
around.
arrested or killed. You know,
Right.
Yeah,
like
Yes,
the
that's
first
an
day.
awful idea, Mitch.
Oh, yeah, or like run over by a car because nobody
That's
can
what I
decide
said.
which way
Arrested
to
or
go.
killed. You know, that's what it would be. You know, doesn't
Well, this is-
necessarily have to be by a gun. It can be by a car. You know,
I'm gonna
or
tell you,
wild
this is what's gonna
animal or
happen
something,
when
you know?
robots get far enough. There's gonna be a Twitch plays like
Twitch plays a robot.
so they're gonna control this robot in real life.
Oh God, it's gonna get squished.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's going to get hit by a
10,000
car.
people charged for murder through Twitch play.
Yeah.
That would
pretty
be
much.
that would be a first, I think.
Yeah, I think that'd be the first multi-murder
Multi
of
murder
one person.
Of one
Like the
person.
prisons aren't full enough.
They'd make a special prison.
A lot of confiscated computers.
Yeah.
You're like you are
Be a lot of
blocked
people getting rid of
Twitch.
Yeah, so we'll follow up on the Fallout 3 thing next week if they get anywhere. We always
Yeah.
like to keep
Hopefully.
abreast of the Twitch plays
I love
because
the
it's always
Twitch
full of such stupid at the start.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we love to watch. Is the
Mm-hmm.
just no progress at all.
at all.
At all.
They fell in the well.
Yeah, right.
Praise-
Oh, they got out of the well. They're
praise
back in the
the
well.
Praise
Alright,
it.
so
Absolutely.
next up, we got PS4 is getting the first early access game. It is spread from Steam, and it is now on your consoles. So
Console.
yeah, I suppose console. Although I wouldn't be surprised if, actually no, Microsoft has what are they? They're launching their game preview program, so it's just a matter of time. But this
Yeah.
is okay. So PS4 is getting it first with Dungeon Defenders 2. They
Oh,
get
boy.
a early access. You know, you get to play it in a pre-alpha state.
So you get to deal with all the shitty
That's
bugs.
right. That's right.
Because that's what
right.
everyone loves.
Oh yeah, when I play a game, I play it for the
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 bugs.
crashes, the
Yeah,
incessant
absolutely.
rage.
You know, I don't really
Yeah.
mind this.
And then start
so
bitching
much.
at the
as long as you
developers.
don't have to pay for it. I mean, it's one of those things where if they want to outsource their bug finding, the game testing that they normally pay people pennies on the hour to do inside of factory conditions, inside of some kind of bunker of the company. If they want to ship that out to anybody who wants to download the game and do that, then I say fine, whatever, as long as you're not charging people for it. I mean, charging people for it is where the audacity comes in for me. Is the audacity of avarice that we've talked about before. It's like, okay, you're charging people for a game that isn't even complete, that isn't even tested, that isn't even beyond alpha, and that's like taking your money for a game that's not even there. It's a half-made product. Yeah.
Which
So-
is becoming a
it's
trend.
half-made.
Well,
It's
what
really
saying is
becoming a
that you
trend
gotta-
lately, I think.
It really is.
So, I mean, I don't mind them.
Um,
Like I said, I don't mind them saying, here's early access. We won't charge you. You can go ahead and play it. But I do mind when they say you need to pay this in order to get access.
I'm trying to figure out what a currency bundle is on the PlayStation Store.
I think it linked you right to it. Well, I think Dungeon Defenders is one of those. I think it was a free game, wasn't it?
See,
free-to-play.
that's why I'm like trying to make that
Free to play
clarification.
game. Like
Yeah,
the first
I-
Dungeon Defenders was like a free to play tower
Mhm.
defense game. I'm pretty sure. Or you had to pay. No, you had to pay for it. You had to pay for it. So no, what they're doing. This is that like founder bullshit that games are doing now, where it's like, we're gonna be a free to play game, and then what you do is you buy like the founder pack, which gives you a bunch of in-game currency to a game that you can't play yet. But as a compensation, we let you play the game in an early.
Right. Yeah, which is, again, it's the audacity of avarice. Because basically what you're doing is you're generating the revenue stream even while the game is in development. It's like, let's get this started as soon as possible. Let's get the money rolling in as soon as possible.
That's right.
For a product we haven't even finished making.
Nope, nobody even.
Oh, okay. So the bundles, to get into the thing, you have to buy these bundles. The bundles,
They're like founders packs.
to the PC, yeah, they're $14.99, $24.99, or
I love how they
my
give
$74.99.
God.
them the euphemism founders. The founders.
Founders pack. Yeah.
You'll be if you have a PSN network or if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you'll get a
You
discount.
should just call them the Fool's Pack.
Yeah.
The
Like, I've
impatient
got-
pack.
Yeah. Or
Instant
the I've
gratification pack.
got a bridge to sell you in New York somewhere.
Right, exactly.
Pack.
Yeah.
Cheese on the moon.
Yeah.
Pack.
They really should name some of those that though.
Yeah.
I would actually be okay with buying them if they actually
If
kinda,
they're
like,
honest
stuff
about it.
You know,
They were called.
Yeah,
I have a
put it out
bridge to
there,
sell
like,
you.
hey,
Sucker pack.
hey, by the way, this is the tier you can buy. I got a bridge to sell you in
Right,
New
You're
York.
right, pack. Just add
Or
pack
there's
to it.
cheese on the moon.
Cheese
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
moon.
Just add pack to the end of it. At least, you know, on
The give me your money pack.
Understand-
The
yeah. Give me your
Shut
just
up and
do
give me
that.
your
Your
money.
money pack. Yeah.
Yeah. It should all be they should all be pictures of Fry. And
Yeah.
I've got a bridge to sell you in New York pack. I got you know what I mean. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do that. And
That's right.
Take my
just
money
just
tag.
go after
Don't-
Nike's tagline. Just do it.
Oh God.
yeah, just do it.
Just
And
fucking do it.
It's one of those things where
Just do
it's
it
like,
pack.
Oh, yeah, the just do it pack.
That's the real high priced one.
yeah. that'll
Just
be
fucking
the-
go for
just
it.
do it.
Yeah.
$99.99.
Oh
Just
my
do
God.
it pack.
Just do it.
And if you click on it and don't buy it, it gives you a pop-up menu that says you're a pussy bitch for not buying
Yeah, it
it.
gives you.
It calls you
It's
out.
like when,
But I mean,
like when you quit Wolfenstein,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
it calls you out.
Let's stop with this gamers are dumb shit.
Well,
okay, we
I
get
mean,
it.
if the
you
shoe
want money up
fits.
front to finish the game because you're not done.
Mm-hmm.
Just say it.
We weren't.
Even if
say
you
it.
are a multi-billion-dollar company, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
just come out and say it. You get some honesty
Yeah.
points. That's worth something. At the very least,
It
you'll have
would be.
people
I
talking
mean-
about how honest it was.
Yeah, exactly. You know. I mean, this is something EA will never do.
$15 a fucking you over pack.
Yeah. You're going to be on the server that shit. We're not even sure if it works.
Yeah, we're just
That's right.
gonna
Quite-
kind
No,
of
just
But with
Stick it
your
in the hole
payment,
and pray
we can
it
work
works.
towards making it work.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
just
God.
just give it to me the way it is. Don't bullshit
Questionable
me anymore
performance
about
pack.
It. Yeah.
Brilliant.
There you go.
that's
I mean, there's a
a
lot
good
of great packs. Send
The,
in
the
your great
latency
pack
between your
ideas.
computer.
That's right.
Yeah, the latency between your computer and ours is just not going to work.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, right.
Good night
You
and
know.
good luck.
Yeah.
Send in your
The-
favorite packs. All right. Use the hashtag game packs.
What is the one back in the day where it would fail to download? This is the fail to download.
Our
pack.
servers are overloaded pack.
Our servers are overloaded. Pack. You'll be
Please
lucky
wait
to
in this
download
queue
this. Kind of.
pack.
Isn't
Oh,
this
there
Yeah,
you go. That's
yeah.
a good
Wait in
one.
the queue pack. Yeah.
Isn't this something that used to happen in WoW all the time with like
Yeah.
a new expansion or something?
Yes.
Well, yeah. When,
Oh yeah. Oh
The
yeah.
first
Our
24
servers are
hours or
fucked,
whatever, you
Pat.
couldn't
That's why
get,
it's just
yeah,
like,
you couldn't
yeah.
get in. You paid for this game, but you can't play. So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was very important to
Servers
get
got-
in on midnight, and then you just
Yeah.
stayed on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's-
You didn't log off for anything. You.
That's what
you
happened
didn't
with
set
Wrath
your
of the
computer
Lich
to
King.
sleep.
I was just
nothing.
like, no, fuck.
I remember that with Cataclysm. It was like, I'm just in now.
I'm in and I'm not
You
going
download
anywhere.
the patch and you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go to sleep now because
That's right, but I'm gonna stay in. Just move.
in.
Just put a rock on your keyboard so you keep running. Like
Yeah, there you go. Tape down the mouse.
mouse.
we
Just
did that.
run
I
into a
remember
wall.
doing that. I remember not taping it down, but like putting something heavy on the
So you just
So
run.
you just yeah, and then you wouldn't get taken out of the game unless you walked somewhere you weren't supposed to. But
Well, that's why you just plant yourself into a corner.
yeah, you run into a corner and you were safe. That's how
And
you
you were
that's how you
done.
fucking did it. That's how you did it, man.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, that's how
Good
you won
time.
those expansions. Yeah, fight for your right to be on that server.
It was a fucking
I
catastrophe.
will be on this server, damn
That's
it.
right.
The fucking disasters, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
All
We
right.
got
Okay.
kids prefer to play games on mobile devices over consoles, and I just want to say I blame the parents.
Yeah, it's
Just
No, it's
they don't want to
it's
sit
not
in
really.
one fucking
It's not.
spot and just sit there and game.
Well, it's not even they want to sit in one fucking spot. They want the instant gratification.
fucking
Look how long. If you buy a game right now, on the PSN network or Xbox One or even
You still have to wait
PC
for it to download.
versus an app. Exactly, versus an app on a phone.
Free.
It's going to shut your kid up now and free most of the time.
Right.
What are you going to do?
I blame the parents. They're teaching their children terrible gaming habits.
I mean, to be serious about this for a moment, I think this is just, again, it's another aspect, it's another element of, what is
But
the
see,
trend for...
Oh, come on. It's from 2 to 17-year-olds. They don't have any money anyway.
I know, but
They're
it's just
stealing
like
their parents' money.
But they're
Their
just
generations
back in our
representing-
day.
Their
be
generations
that old
representing
guy.
people are more on the go, and it's one
Mitch,
of
get
those
off
things where they
my
will
lawn.
be on the go, as adults and everything else. I mean, it's just a growing trend.
I'm just
That's what it
angry
is.
that the first exposure to their games that they're getting is fucking Candy Crush.
yeah,
Like,
that's not a
what-
game. That's not.
Well, I'm
a
not
game.
any happier about
That's
the
fucking-
games.
That's
That
terrible.
that breaks my heart right there.
right.
That's very
It's like,
heartbreaking.
yeah.
It's not
mean,
Zelda, or it's not
Or fucking Pokemon that so many
Even
of us.
Well,
Pokemon, yeah.
I tell you what, if Nintendo didn't have their heads up their asses, it could be those games.
That's a
maybe.
fine
But
point.
they
he's
got their heads
making,
up their asses,
know?
and it's not those games. You got Candy Crush. Because I'd love to play fucking
Right, but
Zelda
they won't let you.
or
Yeah,
anything else on my fucking tablet.
I don't
They
think
won't let
Zelda
me.
would work
So
too
fuck
hot on
'em.
the tablet.
You've
but
always said
anything
this.
I think you
anything
shut your whore
turn-based
mouth.
I
would.
feel like it could be made to work. It could be made to work, especially
Well,
with
they have
with
a
Apple's,
Zelda S
especially
game
with
on
Apple's
phones.
revolutionary pressure touch system that we don't
Oh
have
my
on
god,
any-
let's not get into their 3D touch
Oh, yeah.
bullshit.
Oh yeah, 3D touches, bitches. I'm playing Zelda. On my
3D
phone and
touch
you're
is
not.
just fucking marketing crap for we have pressure sensitivity. That's why it pisses me off.
Oh,
Because they're
you're
like,
just
it's
mad
3D
'cause you
touch.
didn't come
It's
up
like,
with
no,
it.
it's pressure sensitive. And they're like, no, 3D touch, whatever the
Touch.
fuck that means.
We're just pulling words out
just-
of our ass.
Right, like, yeah,
You're
exactly.
just jealous. You're jealous your Android doesn't have it.
I don't care. It's not an issue.
You
You know what? I
lied.
play less and less games on my phone now than ever. All right, I feel like
You're
'cause
going
there's nothing of
backwards.
value outside of like 2 games.
What's wrong with Clash of Clans,
I ain't got
bitch?
time
Clash
for
of
that
Clans
fucking
is
shit.
boo. It's awful.
I ain't got time for that shit to be popping up and be like, oh, you need to play this. I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. I ain't playing that right now. I hate that. shit.
Aw.
I can't stand that notification bullshit.
See, I turned mine off, and now it's on my tablet,
But then
so I
I'm
check
like,
it
what's
like
the
once a
point of
week.
playing it then? I'd rather go
Yeah.
play something
Once
else.
a week.
Because that's a game that if I'm not playing it, I'm falling behind, right? Where I can go play a game that I won't lose anything by putting it down.
Well, there's Hearthstone.
There is Hearthstone.
That's
probably-
like one of the two games. Yeah.
That's one of the 2.
Yeah, I like
I'll
Hearthstone.
tell you what,
I got it on
the
my
only
phone
other
and my
game,
tablet.
the only other game on my phone was Anomaly. It's the tower, the tower defense game.
I haven't heard of that one.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it's like a opposite tower defense. So instead of you being like the towers that set up for everything else, you're like a convoy moving through a city,
Oh god.
and you have to attack the towers. that
Convoy.
They missed
Yeah,
an
right.
opportunity to call that Mad Max.
they really did.
But yeah, so anyway, that's the only 2 I play, and outside of that, that's about it. I don't know. It's just, I don't like those games, and I'm just angry that kids are being brought up with these shitty games.
Oh, I think
We're gonna have to buy everybody like fucking 2DSs, and we're gonna get Pokemon for everybody, and this is gonna be a charity effort. God damn it, we're gonna start
Why
this
does it gotta
charity
be
right
Pokemon?
now. Pause your game
Why's it gotta be Pokemon?
because I don't know. It's just a good kids game. It's
Oh,
a game that on the surface is easy to get into, but is surprisingly complex
Yeah, I'm
once
with
you
you,
dive
Brett.
into it.
I really am not feeling it.
I don't feel that. Let's do Skyrim.
That's
There
not a
you go.
kid's game.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
You're like, what? Just fucking. There's that one streamer, that old lady that plays Skyrim. She's like she's like 90 or something.
See,
like
Skyrim
87.
spans the generation.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, she just
You don't
like,
see
I'm
old
streaming
ladies playing
Skyrim.
Pokemon.
Give
Yeah,
it time.
they're not
Give
talking
it
about playing
time.
Pokemon.
Wait till our generation gets old. Then you'll see like old.
I'm
ladies
already
playing that.
feeling it. I don't know what you're talking about. God. This is so sad. This
alright.
conversation is making me sad.
It's just a sad conversation.
So
Oh,
All right.
I think you'll be. I think you'll be okay.
So let's go. I didn't prepare a sound bite for this. All right, this is still day 1, but let's jump into the bites. Let's go right to the bites. Do you like to learn about the lore from your favorite games but don't have the time to read? Well, head over to audibletrial.com/pauseyourgame for a 30-day trial and a free audiobook. You can listen to all the books from your favorite series, such as Warcraft, Halo, Dragon Age, and more, all while doing other things in your life, such as driving, cooking, shopping, or simply being at work. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/pauseyourgame. Why not catch up on your favorite game's backstory right now?
Yeah, we need a chomping.
Yeah, I'll get a chomp. Maybe I'll just record you, Beth. Like at the. Yeah, there we go.
Well, what happened to Wolfenstein New Order sequel,
Well, we
man?
can talk about. You want to go over that real fast?
No, I just wanted to announce
Alright,
it like
alright.
that and be a dick and
Okay.
walk away from it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. All right, next up.
Next topic.
Next.
Next.
All right, so we got bites. We're gonna go into bites now. Our first set of bites is we're gonna be talking about esports. Whole mess of esports.
Whole mess.
Now, first up is that we have TBS will be broadcasting esports in 2016. That is right. The channel most known for reruns of sitcoms will
What do you
be
call it?
Hey,
The
I'll take
bullshit
Bang Theory on
station.
TBS.
That's what TBS stands for.
the bull. I like that.
Here's the question.
Conan
I have.
O'Brien's
Here's the-
on there. He's
Here's the
funny.
question I have. Esports seems to me to be more, since it's developing right now, it seems to be more likely to be formatted in such a way as to be able to watch it through streaming and things like that. You know, rather than traditional sports, which have always been, you know, there's a whole televised event thing going on, all that stuff, and you know, it's typically ported into your TV. You know, for esports, it seems to me that they could just go straight from the ground floor and get this into a streaming format, so you wouldn't have stations such as like TBS unless they are like coming across something like a streaming service like Amazon.
Well,
Or-
the one thing, and I bitched about this on the extra bit, was that I would like if we kind of got together and had it where, like, this time bracket is this game, or like this time bracket is like pay attention for this game, so that way
Why?
it's a lot easier to follow of when shit's happening. Because right now,
But
all right,
time brackets are a thing of the past. They're a thing of TV.
right, but this is like almost an
Well,
information overload where it's like you can watch esports all the fucking time, all day and night, and you're like you've got nowhere. You're
See,
like I don't know who I'm
I don't
following.
agree with that whole.
I don't care.
agree with that.
Right now, just name anybody in esports. Anybody.
I
Well,
cannot.
you can't because it's not been around for a while. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like ask anybody. They can't.
Brad. You like hockey. We've established that.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. You
Yeah.
big Red Wings fan.
I knew
all right?
that this was
Yeah.
going to go this
Do
way.
you know the players on the Red Wings
did
team? Could
too.
you
I
name some
anticipated
notable
this.
players?
Yeah.
Okay. Just go with. Just give me a few. Just to prove my point.
oh, you got Zetterberg, Helm,
Dasuk.
Cronwall.
Right. What positions do they play?
Dagzuk.
Just to.
You've got Cronwall's defense. What is that? Dagzuk's two-way
Brad,
forward or
let me ask you
playmaker. Zetterberg's playmaker.
Let me ask you a different question, Brad. How long have you been following?
Go ahead.
them?
Oh, for a
How
while
long?
now.
Just give me an estimate.
Oh, I'd say probably about 5 or 6
At least
years.
5 or 6 years, right?
Yeah.
Were you familiar with them growing up before you quote followed them?
Yes, I knew
Okay.
of them. I mean, it is one of the better hockey teams
All
in the
right,
league.
so it's been the better part of more than a decade at least, right? That you've been
Yes.
familiar with and have known the Red Wings as a team and things like that. You have been familiar with the Red Wings as an organization and all that stuff for the better part of 1 or 2 decades. Okay, yeah. So it's one of those things where like that's my point. How long has esports been around?
Years.
I
Not as long
seriously,
as-
right? As
Well,
in this
I guess
capacity.
I understand
Yeah.
what I'm understanding what Fallon's saying is that you've got esports here in America versus esports in Japan and Asian market where they've been doing it since StarCraft.
Right, but I mean, like,
So,
I guess here's my
it's
point,
newer to
though,
us.
is that you're a Red Wings fan. We're gonna just use you for a lot of this.
Yeah, you're on the spot, Brad.
Yeah, you're just on the spot.
All right.
Answer truthfully, God damn it.
Can't.
So you're a Red Wings fan, and you follow the Red Wings, right? But there's players. I'm sure there's a couple players in that list that you mentioned that are fairly new, right? Maybe they're rookies or whatever that you right.
Well, see, not so much rookies. Is the sad part about my obsession with the Red Wings is that the city I live in also hosts their
training camp or something?
their minor league team, which is the Grand Rapids Griffins.
There you go.
So like I know, like there's a couple players that I've grown up watching.
Right.
Like I seen Osgood in net back in the day when he played for the
agree.
Griffins. I seen Howard in net when he played for the Griffins. I seen Thomas Sartar, who's a newer player.
Okay,
that
so
played with the
you're a
Griffins.
bad example.
No,
when it
no,
comes to
Mitch.
this.
He's a good example until he
no.
no longer supports your argument. So it's not thing
No, because he's in a unique
The thing is-
situation.
No, he's
where
not a unique
The thing
situation.
is, I am because to flip this back on it, Beth's also a Red Wings fan
Right.
who lives in New
Right.
Mexico. She can't watch Griffins
Okay,
games.
so let's
She can't
shift it
do
to
the
Beth,
things
then.
that
Oh
I've
God
actually-
damn it! Why?
Yeah, bring it. There you go.
Wait a second. Why do I
Because
lose
you
the
no longer
limelight?
support his argument. You're no longer valid.
God
You know?
damn it.
because my point was I was trying to make was that like you by being a Red Wings fan, right? You listed off a bunch of people, and his argument to that was, oh well, you've been watching them for years. My point was going to be, but you're aware of rookies, right? But then you go and say, well, they have the minor league team here, so I get to see them come up from
So
nothing.
he's been watching them for years. You know? So-
Right, so you've been watching. So you have no case of there's nobody who's like, oh, they're new to the team and I know who they are.
Why is that such a contradictory detail to your analysis, Mitch?
Because to me it would go. I almost want to say like if you were to, put some connection to the two, right? Like the sport is the game, right? And then the team, depending on the game, could be like. I mean, if you're talking like something like StarCraft, it almost would be like there is no teams in StarCraft. It's
I'm
all
pretty certain
one-on-one.
if you went to South Korea, okay, they could definitely name people who they've been following for a while in StarCraft tournaments.
I'm sure.
See, the thing is that the broader point of all of this, realistically, is the simple fact that he hasn't actually tied in everything else to it, and that's what's fucking everybody else up. What Mitch is trying to say is that he doesn't know anybody, and by not knowing anybody, he can't get into the DraftKings leagues to bet on esports,
Right?
Because he doesn't know anybody. He can't get into, kind of like how I do fantasy football.
I don't know why.
I could go to DraftKings if I really wanted to. It's a work thing.
I feel
Why
like
is that
that's
just,
a
like,
lot
why?
of people answer that.
Why?
It's
a work
it's
thing.
literally it's
Do
guys
they,
at work.
do they put a gun
pay-
into your fucking head? And that just doesn't
Well,
seem fun
I-
at all.
Oh, it doesn't, because last year I won $150.
That seems fun
so
to
I'm
me,
not really
right?
going to complain. I'm gonna and you know what's funny is that all those guys work in FA, and I'm the only EA guy. So when I walk over there, they be like, "Bitch, give me my money." They all got to go, "Oh, hold on." You know what I mean? That's like the best part of all for me. So it's
Being a
been a
smug
thing. I think I've been
asshole,
doing it
got
for
it.
like 3 years now. Yeah, basically. But I mean, the year before when I didn't win, I had to dole out my fucking money. So
Yeah.
But that's really all it is that I know the players. Well, I know enough about some players to do fantasy football. But my buddy showed me the other day on his not DraftKings, but FanDuel.
Okay.
That they have League of Legends betting already. But I was just like, that's awesome. I don't play League of Legends, but I know people who do.
Right.
So I asked around work to the guys that play, and one of the guys, Jeff, he's like, I had no idea I could bet on this. And I was like, Jeff plays the game competitively. He may not be on a team, but he has more access to the game than I do, and I bet you he could probably make some money off of that, knowing
I
what
was
he
going to
knows.
say,
Right.
you have experience with it. Of course you're going to do better.
Right.
Exactly. So, but I mean, that's no different than fantasy football. If you know a lot of these players and what they've
Yeah.
done, you know who to pick. And look, I mean, FanDuel and DraftKings are like every other fucking commercial.
Oh, God.
They show all these people winning millions of dollars, and that's just one
Right.
day or 1 week's worth of fantasy. If you know who the players
And this
are,
kind of
you can
feeds
bet
into
and
my
win money.
whole point of like it's hard to get into it because like you're saying, oh, you can just have the stream going, but it's like when do I pay attention? Like when should I?
And that's when you'd have to literally get the app. And
Right, you gotta
find
commit.
out.
Like
You've really got to.
it's not like I
being
can
that
just go like it's 7 o'clock on a
it's-
Sunday. It's StarCraft 2 time.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
may
yeah.
become that at some point. I mean, it's one of those things. Where
But
it's like,
that's what Mitch is
yeah,
talking
it
about.
takes
Mitch is
a
talking
while
about with
It
TBS.
takes a while for that to build in, and I think I feel like we're living in the moment here. And yes, I'm not saying that you can say, oh well, esports has been around for a while, globally and things like that. I think part of it is, yes, it's a cultural thing. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, here in America, it's a fairly brand new thing. I mean, as far as like
Right,
mass
but,
media
I mean,
coverage
you're
and that sort of thing.
you're
You can say
comparing
that
it to-
Linux has been around for fucking ever, but how many people know about it? It's one of those things where it's like it takes a while, and sometimes it never makes the jump for something to become mass. You know what
But
I'm
I
saying?
guess what my point is that
Wait,
you're trying
hold
to
on.
use it
He's
as like
really got it there, though.
with Korea, where you're like, why does it even need to be on TV, right? When they could just stream it. Well, like on Korea, it's three channels. It's got TV down. They have like this happening in StarCraft 2.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying it's not an either or thing. It's one of those things where it could be like, at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock we'll be showing the StarCraft tournament from Wets and Wets and that sort of thing. But it's like you can also stream that. You can also be like. I mean, that's how shows are done today, right?
Streamed.
I mean,
I
the
would
Late
just
Show
like
with
if
Stephen
it was
Colbert and everything. It's like one of those things where it's like, okay, I can either watch
Mitch,
that on.
what Mitch
I can
wants-
watch that on the internet.
I
or I
want
can
like
watch
a
it
group
on TV
together
at 11 o'clock at night or 11:30 or whenever it comes on.
What Mitch ultimately wants, and what a lot of people want, well, maybe not a lot of people, but I would like to, is who is playing at what time, and
Right.
what is
You
this
want it
for?
broken
Right.
down on a platform.
You want it broken down,
from
but-
a
but right
network
now-
and
but
things
right-
like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But right now, we don't have
right.
that.
It's just
We
like
don't
we got
have
a
that
game
setup.
going all the time somewhere, right?
There are no, and that's the other thing I know that he talked about in the extra bit was there's no seasons either.
Yeah, where it's
You know what I mean? This just goes.
it,
You're doing this from it starts whenever and doesn't
And I
fucking
understand
end.
you're coming from the
But there's
traditional
no-
sports program here. I get
but it's
that.
it's not. I
Exactly.
mean, but the idea here is to just it's to create a system that when to pay attention.
Yeah, but
right.
you're. Oh my God! Why? Okay, so let me come.
But see, but
let
that's
me
the thing,
come
but
from
it-
this.
but
Let me
I
come
mean-
from the future on this. Okay, so it's one of those
The
things. Where I know
future,
you're
you
coming
say.
from the past. All right, so it's one of those things where you're coming from the past, where there's a program, there's Monday Night Football, there's certain times, right, when you can depend on certain things to be on, right, and then it's like that's the past. That's from a period of time when we didn't choose, right, when these things came on and everything else. What you're running into now, okay, is a transformation of the medium where it's going to be less and less people like wanting to say, oh, well, when is this thing? When is it showing? And more people saying, well, on what internet stream or whatever can I pick this up whenever I want? It's one of those things where like that's the trend now. That's where that's going. You're coming from a traditional 1980s, TV viewing
Right, but
mentality.
that's fucking daunting. Like, just because there's so much happening, so many different games.
But that doesn't mean you
so
have
many
to watch
different
all of it or
leagues.
care about all
But
of it.
see, but
But
it's
if there's so much
it's
up
only-
front, it's hard to get into any of it when it's like.
I don't agree. You pick something and you roll with it.
I honestly think what it is that none of us really play League, so we're not in that group of people who know what's going on, know when things are being played. We're not. I mean, we've all played League at some point. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I downloaded
Yeah.
it and made that mistake.
I play, I
what I
played
mean?
that
I did-
game
I-
called
I avoided
Dota
it.
back
I
back
really
in
did.
Dota.
Warcraft 3.
But that's what I mean. We're not hardcore. Now, if this jumped on and all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, here you go. It's Super Mario Brothers speedruns. We could all do that. We could all join that. We could all be a part of that system because we've all, tried that. Where this is a thing that's coming out that they've been doing for years. I mean, League of Legends has been around for I don't know how long now, but they've been doing these tournaments, and now the media is finally catching up with something they've been doing on streams and on everything else. And now you've got, DraftKings and FanDuel all saying, okay, well, shit, we can make some money on this. Let's let these fuckers bet on this. And now it's all a combination of, holy shit, this is blowing up. And now people who don't play and are not in the know are kind of like, well, fuck, I want to get on this. Where do I start? And we're all like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you're like, when do you
You know what
pay
I mean? If
attention
you
to? Who
don't-
the fuck knows?
Exactly. If you don't, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I mean, it's no different than watching a professional sports team. You know, if you start rooting for a certain team, and then you're like, well, shit, next year I'm doing fantasy football, and then you pick all those players from that team, you're like, fuck, why aren't I winning? Well, that's because you don't know any other fucking team.
Exactly.
You don't know any of the other players.
Right, but as you participate, okay, I would say it's
exactly there has
there's
to be
unavoidable that you're going to like, oh, this is what I did wrong, and oh, that was a really stupid decision. Oh, I get this now. You know, I mean, it's one of those things where.
But they have not. A lot of people, Mitch, for example, are looking for
a jumping off point.
You're looking for the Apple.
Well, not even a jumping off point.
I get it. I do.
Not even the Apple entrance. They're looking for the instant gratification where it's almost instant gratification. You click on a button, shit, here's everything. Here's the teams that are playing here. Here's this, here's this, here's this. There isn't that.
Yes, there isn't that yet, right.
There is no jumping on point where you can go, okay, well, I'm going to start betting on FanDuel or DraftKings about League of Legends, and where do I go to find these teams?
Here's the thing about that, though. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, when you go to the stock market, you don't look for all the stocks. You look for the stocks that you want. You go to you go to watch hockey. You're not looking for all the teams. You're looking for the teams you want. And it's one of those things where it's like the amount of choices, the fact that you have 3,000 channels to pick from, is not overwhelming for most people because they don't care about 2,899 of those channels. You know, it's one of those things where they're looking for specific channels. I mean, this is a discussion. We had before.
To use StarCraft 2 for example, though, but they all feed into each other. See, this is now. Bear with me here. StarCraft 2 is perhaps one of the most fucking confusing setups possible, but there are 4 major tournaments.
Yeah.
All are regional based, right? So you got like your American, you got your European, and I think there's an Asian one, and there's one more I might be missing. I can't think of. But they got all their tournaments, and then each tournament has its own system of how it does things, and then they all feed into the Blizzard World Tournament, but then it's also not like the end all be all, because the Blizzard World Tournament you can get in outside of being in those other tournaments.
Yeah, so I mean, eventually
I think what's going to have to happen is that it's going to have to be broken up, and I think where, unfortunately for us who do not play League of Legends and want to get into it, are either going to have to either wait for TBS or start doing some random searches, or if you want, you can always, you know, even if you're not going to bet, I really think a nice jumping on point is probably going to be either DraftKings or FanDuel, and find out who's playing and start from there. Because then at least, because with FanDuel and DraftKings, I know that when you go, it'll tell you where they're playing, who's playing what, you know, the records and all that. But they're obviously gonna have to give you a link to watch it.
Yeah.
And being that this is all streamed for the most part for now until 2016, that it's just going to be a click of a link, and you won't even have, I mean, worst comes to worst, what, an email and a password for either one of these? No one's saying you got to put money down. You know what I mean?
It's just hard to, like, just get a point that you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this.
You know what I think this is? I think this is kind of analogous to, like, World of Warcraft players who jump to another MMO. And they're like, well, where's all my stuff? You know, and it's one of those things where it's like, well, first of all, Blizzard has had like, you know, several years to build all that stuff in that you now expect to have in your game, and it's like you want us to have it from day one out of the gate, and it's not going to happen. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, eSports, regardless of what you say, I'm telling you, it's not even a decade old yet. And it's one of those things where look back at pro football, American football, you know, in its first decade of existence, and see how messy that was. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so you need to give it some time. You need to give it at least another 5 to 10 years to organize itself. But the problem, and maybe it'll get together sooner than that. But you need to at least give it some time. You know, you're coming off of a very structured, well-traditioned, you know, sports platform in the case of hockey or football or anything else. It's been around for decades, and it's had time to structure itself. The networks have had time to match up, league matchups and things like that. It's one of those things where the league itself has had time to slot everybody to where they go and who plays who and all this stuff. This is coming. It is coming, but it is one of those things where you can't just have it all right out of the box.
Well, I think part of the problem is that for outside people who don't play, that all of this is coming together, but not in a easy to digest format for the casual or not someone who,
right.
Well, shit. What is this League of Legends that's all of a sudden it's going to be on TV next year? Shit, they're taking bets on it.
Most people are like, "What's eSports? What is that?
Where the fuck have I been?" Yeah. Well, yeah, outside of even gaming, it's like, what the fuck is this? But there is no, like Mitch is looking for, a jumping on point to go, okay, well, here is this tournament, and if you want to bet on these teams, or if you want to watch these teams, this is where this tournament's being played. But
I think it's making steps towards that. In a very rapid,
it's getting there, but
way.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's a 1 foot in front of the other, but they're leaving things behind because they're not globally thinking of, Mitch. Realistically, they're not thinking of people like Mitch that are looking for a jumping on point that, yeah, I've tried League, but I haven't done much with League. Where can I go?
Yeah, for me, it's like, I like to watch StarCraft 2, right? But I'm like one of those people who are like, I don't like football unless it's the Super Bowl. Because that's the only time I know when to pay attention. Is that, like, oh, I know this is like Blizzard World League, right? This is the end of the end, finals of the finals. All right, so I'll pay attention then. But as far as like,
that's different from like somebody who follows a particular team. That team gets knocked out in the playoffs. They don't even care about the Super Bowl as much. So it's
this is true, because once the Red Wings are out of the playoffs,
right? But I was never coming into it from. I'm not coming into it from I have a team that I follow. I'm coming into it. I like watching this game.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's coming. I do. They wouldn't even be setting up these betting and these, and all of these league, fantasy leagues or whatever it is they're setting up. They wouldn't even be able to set that up if there wasn't potential crowds and people watching and things like. You're seeing all this stuff being put into place. Again, I'm putting the word "yet" at the end of like what Brad is saying. Is like, well, yeah, this stuff is not here, and I'm like, yet.
I think
it's coming.
I think it's blowing up and going so quickly that they are forgetting about. And I think someone will. Eventually somebody will bring this up. TBS will bring this up. Even beforehand, you figure DraftKings and FanDuel, they're going to bring this up, saying, hey, okay, we can make more money over here with these people who are kind of like, they play video games, but they don't really watch these. We could get more people. How do we get these people? Right. And I think that's what Mitch is waiting for. But at the rate everything is going, Mitch is just like, hey, I'm over here. Me.
Yeah,
me.
All
I like
a lot
this
of
stuff.
games
I want to watch.
have just been like,
but
instead of trying to reel it in,
what do I do?
They just go, we're making another league. And you're like, wait, what? It's another thing to follow? And
yeah,
that's
a bit overwhelming.
I think that once, because if you read in the thing, it says they're going to be showing. Oh, where'd it go? I just had it highlighted. It's 20 weeks on a Friday. For 20 weeks on a Friday.
Well, that's the start.
Is what they have blocked off right now. So that's a start.
Yeah, I really want to like have seasons. That's really like, it's fucking StarCraft 2 time of the year. Oh, it's League of Legends time of the year. Oh, it's Rocket League time. You know what I mean? Like,
what's ironic is they've actually been pushing, for example, football to be longer and longer, covered more parts of the year. More times of the year.
That's because they make a shit ton
of overwhelming.
That's what I'm
you can't just do that.
Not to the people who love football. They're like, more football.
Well, eventually it will take its toll.
Right, it'll reach a point where like people who are fans of multiple sports are like, all right, this is too much.
Yeah, like I watch
baseball and football overlap.
I don't know.
Yeah, because you figure every city has one of each
have
team
ESPN
at least,
and everything else.
every state.
This is exactly why I'm glad I'm only a hockey fan. So I only have to worry about one time of the year.
So it's one of those things where it's like, you could just stay with hockey or whatever and just roll with that. It's one of those things where, again, having 3,000 channels doesn't mean you have to watch them all. It's just, I don't know. You see it as an issue of having all these leagues and all these options and all these choices.
It's like StarCraft all fucking day, all night, all week, all year, all the time.
And you follow what you want to follow. I mean, yes, I agree. It can be structured.
Mitch wants to hear about the preseason. He wants the regular season, and then he's like, "Oh shit, the team I've been watching is making it to the final."
I know.
Or
he's trying to get it to match the model he's familiar with. And look, not for nothing, I get that a lot of people are going to want that. But there's a lot of people who are going to grow up without that model too.
Oh, absolutely. But I think that honestly, that eventually, when they get this ball constantly rolling in an actual direction, that someone's going to have to sit down and go, okay.
Someone's going to realize that you can't have 8 things happening.
We can make
at the
a lot
same
more
fucking
money.
Time. You're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Well, no. Yes and no. It would almost come down to who sponsored the porno site that sponsored the porn? Well, was it Pornhub?
YouPorn, whatever, whichever.
It's eventually going to break down to Twitch saying,
yeah, right.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's eventually going to break down to leagues. You're going to have your amateur, non-sponsored
Well, we actually
leagues,
started
maybe,
to see that, though. They have...
You know what I mean? But they're going to start breaking this up, and then you're going to start breaking it up into seasons at some point, I would think.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think part of the reason we even have seasons in traditional sports right now is so that way...
Well, they need a break.
Well, it's that, and it's to not step on the other toes of the other sport. I mean, if you have they don't want... I'm sure there's a lot of people who are sports fans, like, I'm sure there's a ton of marketing people that are like, they like football, and because they like football, there's an increased chance of them liking another sport because they're already in one sport already, right? I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like baseball fans and football fans, and they're like, well, having them going on at the same time, you're gonna lose somebody somewhere, right? So let's spread them out.
I mean, realistically, are you?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not one of those persons.
Well, but I mean that's the thing. Like I can watch baseball. I can go to baseball games. I mean, for example, the weekend, I took a weekend off. I went to the Tigers home opener that Saturday, and then I went to Sunday. That Sunday in Detroit, I went to the Red Wings Blackhawks game, playoff game. Yeah, I know.
I am.
Hey, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. They lost the Blackhawks that year. Fucking Blackhawks.
I know, right?
But I mean, you can do both with technology now. Really, I mean, with tablets and phones and computers and television. You've got. There's so many. Yeah, there's so many screens that. There's no reason that you can't, like right now, I'm currently talking to you guys, but I am currently, well, not watching, but it's on Falcons versus the Cowboys. It's just on
and
mute.
Multitasking is part of how we do everything nowadays. Yeah, so.
You know what I mean? I also, if I wanted to, I could throw on Hearthstone on my phone and play some Hearthstone.
That's exactly what's going on.
As I'm talking to you fuckers.
I totally agree.
You know what I mean? There's so many different things you could do. Now, granted, maybe you're not watching a specific... Like, I don't really care about this team, the two teams that are playing, Falcon
Yeah, it's kind of like with StarCraft.
Dallas.
I don't really care about the person playing. I'm just like, yay, Protoss.
But I'm watching it because I do have somebody in fantasy that's on your
team.
On Dallas. Yeah. So I'm not specifically going to watch the game like hardcore, but hey, it's on. I'm going to check it, and then every now and again, I'm going to go to my, the fantasy site and go, oh, sweet, I just seen the run. Let's see how many points I just got because I just caught it. Or, hey, Dallas just got a touchdown. Shit, well, maybe my guy's the one that got it. Let me go check. Right. So, it could be any of that at that point. It could be, okay, you've got FanDuel on your phone on a tablet. Well, shit, what's his name just went down this lane and just murdered all this shit. Oh, yeah, I just made some money.
Yeah.
It's so oddly specific with the fantasy shit.
Oh yeah, just wait till they get games.
Well,
it's gonna be like when did what's his face build a third hatchery on the fucking.
But I mean, if you look at it, you look at Yahoo right now as a whole. What is Yahoo known for?
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah,
Literally, the only reason I go to Yahoo now is for fantasy football.
Oh, is that who does that?
Is that
That's
a
it.
thing now?
That's
who does that? Like,
That's
fantasy.
who does that? I don't.
And they do a lot in fantasy. A lot. So that's literally, honestly, I think that's what keeps them
All
afloat
that
a little bit.
advertising revenue.
Yeah. So
You heard it here.
I
That's how
think it's-
Yahoo survived.
yeah, literally fantasy football, their fantasy section. I mean, they've got, podcasts, they've got everything else. And you look at like FanDuel and all them come along, but for their 1-day drafts. But I mean, the way they have their fantasy set up on here, I mean, it's pretty good, pretty well set up. I've looked at the ESPN one, and to me, that's a fucking mess.
I haven't looked at any of them.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the jumping on point for anybody realistically right now is going to be, sign up for DraftKings, sign up for FanDuel. You don't have to place any money, but you might be able to find some of this stuff where they're streaming it and start watching and get
You kind of get a basic education of what you should be
you're
looking
gonna
for.
get you're gonna get yeah, exactly. And then pretty soon you're not even gonna need DraftKings because you're gonna be like, oh well, this is what's happening this weekend. I already know.
Right.
Because I've signed up on Twitch. I'm following the channel that's watching this. And there's all kinds of people in chat you're going to get with and be like, hey, well, who's doing this or what's going on? You mean, or so-and-so over here in this tournament just did this, and they'll probably throw a link up, and then you'll have another link to somewhere else. Right now it's word of mouth and some advertisement of what's coming in the future. It's just waiting for them to go, okay, now we need to get everybody in on this. How do we get everybody to watch Monday Night Football? Well, how do we get everybody to watch Monday Night StarCraft matches? What are we going to do? Because clearly we're not going to put it on ESPN2 because last year somebody had a fucking
You gotta put it on the
meltdown about
Ocho.
We need the Ocho. We need the Ocho. Yes, that's the solution.
ESPN the
ESPN
Ocho is
Ocho.
good. It should be just all esports.
I'll
I'd
watch it.
it.
I'll buy it. Give
Buy
it to
that
me.
fucking package. All right, let's go to the last topic. We don't want to overlook this because there was we'll just spare everybody what happened, but let's go into this
A
one.
bit of a lover's quarrel.
Yeah. All right, we'll go into this. So Fallon, you want to
There
kick
was
this
no
one
love.
off?
There was no love.
Fallon,
no love.
are you
Well,
there?
I mean, why don't we just start with
do it.
Do
why don't we
it.
Do
just
it.
start with what actually occurred?
Okay,
So-
we'll start with that.
Okay.
All right. So, I guess it was 2 days ago. We'll just say it's 2
Friday.
days ago.
It was
Friday. Friday. All right. So it was 2 days ago. Friday there was a hearing at the UN talking about. Let me get the exact title pulled up here. That was aimed at cyber harassment against women. So it wasn't like it wasn't like an official hearing. It was like I don't know what you want to call it. They call it a working
Just
group.
discourse.
They call it
maybe.
a working group. But anyway, it's the
a working
broadband.
group. It's a working group on gender.
Yeah, it's a working group on gender,
It's
and
not.
they were talking
It
about.
wasn't even like focused just on online violence against women and girls. It was a working group. On
Well,
gender.
I thought this specific. Oh, you're saying the working group exists,
Right,
and
exactly.
this is just
yeah.
what the topic
yeah,
was.
right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, this
All right.
is a panel discussion in a working group. So, in other words, like at a conference, for example, you'll have a number of different panels. A conference may be on a general theme or a general topic, but you'll have a number of different panels and presentations on various related aspects of that theme or topic. That's how a conference or something like that goes.
Okay. So we had one of those, and it was focused on women in what has been termed as cyber assaults.
Yeah.
Right. Basically, the findings were is that women are have an increased rate of being assaulted, or what they've claimed as cyber assaults, right? And it's about a 2.5 hour panel talking about cyber harassment and stuff like that.
It's a big,
But they
big subject
invited
there.
they invited two people who bring with them a fair amount of baggage. And I'm sure, and why this relates to gaming is well, once you hear the names, you'll know. But it was Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian.
He got the name.
I know. I always get her last
amazing.
name. I always screw up. So both of them were present. They must have spoke for about 15 minutes.
They did speak for about 15 minutes. I think you timed
between
it.
them. Let's be clear here. Not 15 minutes each. It was between them. So anyway, they talked about basically what they felt, what they faced, what they've been dealing with, and all that jazz. Well, now, mind you, this is a 2.5-hour discussion about, just women and cyber harassment in general.
Right, exactly.
I'm not going to label them as Gamergate people, but I will say there are some striking similarities between this group of people and what happened when this was released. So basically, a pile of sludge, or just filth and utter shit, has formed around probably the 15 minutes worth of discussion that they had.
That's bad.
Here are some quotes that they made, not the proponents or whatever you want to call them, but actually Zoe, Quinn, and Anita. This is from Zoe. It said, "We need people to actually enforce their own terms of service and shut down bad actors and bad faith websites. There are individuals on services like YouTube that have made a living off of abusing people like Anita and I, who monetize this, who see the mobs, who aren't anonymous, who raise funds this way to continue attacking, stalking, and harassing us because it's a cottage industry at this point." A quote from Anita: "I think it's important to recognize that harassment is, as someone has mentioned, not just what is legal and illegal. Harassment is threats of violence, but it's also the day-to-day grind of you're a liar and you suck, making all these hate videos to attack us on." So these are the quotes that most people have latched on to. Now, before I dive into responses, I just want to say, out of this group, does anyone get is there any issues with what was said right there?
No.
Well, I mean, I guess my issue totally at this point is that they are upset that they're being harassed and stalked and everything else for being a female in the gaming world, and they're making money for it.
Well,
now,
just to be
this is a big stretch on comparison, but what makes them any difference from an actor in a movie that did poorly, or an actor who does something stupid with his money, or an actor who
the clear takeaway here is that the people who are claiming that they're being harassed, right, or like that they're making money from being harassed, the thing is that they were doing the stuff that was making them money beforehand, and that the harassment simply comes with it. Right.
Well, I mean,
Anita was still focused on her thing, with feminism and gaming and whatever.
She was doing that long before the harassment began.
Right, and then people go, "Well, she's making money off the harassment."
Right, and I would say that again. Oh my God, the reason I think this is important is because it brings out all the logical fallacies that people bring to the argument. It really brings into perspective how incapable I'm going to say Americans are today about discussing anything.
Let's just say the internet.
How utterly enfeebled they are about discussing anything, because they use all kinds of logical fallacies, such as the payment fallacy. It's like, well, if you're making money off this, then it must be okay. And it's like, well, no, wait a minute. The money that's irrelevant, okay? Whether she's making money or not, okay? She's not making money so that she can be harassed, okay? That's not how that works, all right? She's not making money to justify the harassment, all right? That people don't make money so that you can harass them. All right,
she made something that got her harassed,
right?
And that has kind of
and the fact that she's having to get compensation for something that is either related to or not related to the harassment. In fact, I don't know whether she got paid to be at this panel or not. It's one of those things where it's like a lot of times you present on this stuff and you don't get paid. I know for a fact that no academic ever gets paid for presenting on something. Now and again, if you're a featured speaker, you get that money. Like, for example, if Obama's making a graduation speech, he'll get paid for that. But it's one of those things where it's like most of the time when you're doing a panel or whatever, you're not even getting paid for that. So as a lot of this stuff is not, you're not doing it for the money. It's not like an actor where it's like, oh, well, I made this movie and it was a terrible movie and critics panned it or people thought it was terrible. You know, it's one of those things.
Well, no, I wasn't talking about like the money per se. I'm talking about the simple fact of that. I mean, let's just look at it from a standpoint. Ben Affleck did a shitty movie called Daredevil. Now he got cast as Batman, and what happened? The fucking people of the world and the internet lost their fucking minds. He's gonna be shitty. He's gonna be this. He's gonna be that. A little trailer comes out, and a few people are like, "Oh, that's not so bad." Blah blah blah. You know, what I mean, maybe it's not gonna be so bad. You're now in the limelight.
Right. That's
yeah,
correct.
the act of that shitty movie that you made has now brought you its own, like, its shit brought its own level of stardom to you. And it's the same thing with them, is that they did something, they got harassed.
So they did something, and now they're being harassed for
Again, there's a fallacy.
But you don't see what's his nut getting death threats and shit.
Right.
No, I don't think. No, I don't think he's.
What?
I don't think Brad's saying it's
Who,
Brad.
Affleck?
I don't think.
Yeah, he did. He did get death threats. He did receive death threats.
But here's the fallacy in that. All right, it doesn't justify it.
No.
All right?
No, absolutely
I don't
not.
think. I don't think Brad was arguing against what we were saying.
No, I'm
he's
not.
going.
I'm
he's
not
just
saying
explaining
that.
the like how you did A, right, and then you got harassed for it, and then that harassment has brought to you a certain limelight because of the harassment.
No. Okay, they're in the limelight because they spoke up for it in the first place. All right, that's
what
one
I'm
of those
saying,
things
though,
where
but
they were one. I don't know other people who are doing. It's one of those things where, for Zoe Quinn, perhaps more so for her, that the harassment, she was made a victim, you know, through her connection to that developer or whatever. But Anita Sarkeesian was doing her feminism blog or video things before she was being harassed. I mean, it's one of those things where that was a thing that she was doing before all of this and would continue to do in spite of all of this, you know, throughout the course of this whole thing since Gamergate. So, and it's one of those things where it's like, so the harassment is an effect, okay, of many different reasons. One of it is, oh, people know who she is and she's a target. The other one is, there's a lot of people out there who really, you know, who have a lot of problematic views about women in games and women on the internet and what's justifiable and things like that. And not just women, a lot of different people. I mean, Brad, I thought that this connected really well to your toxicity bit. You know, it's one of those things where there's a major problem, you know, inside of gaming culture or whatever. Let's just go ahead and be honest with ourselves. It's kind of like racism, which is like what reminds me of Jon Stewart's monologue after the Charleston shootings. It's one of those things where he's like, guys, this is continuing to happen. This isn't, we're post-racism. This isn't something we're done with. This isn't something like we're 21st century and this is over. This is one of those things where it's like, yes, as you point out, this happened last year. This happened this year. This will happen again next year. This will happen every single time this comes up, because there are still people that are harassing people on the internet in ways that are not okay. And women are singled out for a particular kind of harassment, you know, that doesn't transfer over to other groups. Now, transgender people are subject to a different kind of harassment and that sort of thing. But these harassments are not equal. They are not proportional to each other in equal measure, so you can't say that they're all the same. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, they are coming from many different vectors. They're coming from many different aspects, but they come together for less than justifiable reasons. That's the problem here. It's one of those things where it's like, you can't just say, well, because she's in the limelight, she should expect this. Yes, on some level, yes, there's always going to be somebody who disagrees with you when you're a celebrity. But these people are being disagreed with for terrible reasons. Right? You know, that's...
Oh, no, I understand that portion of it. There's no getting around why, you know, they're being harassed for, you know, their opinions or what they believe in. I mean, but that's everywhere you go.
Yeah, but at the same, by the
you know
same,
what I mean? And unfortunately with the internet, everybody who has the internet can have their opinion or be a troll.
Well, that's kind of what...
And
there's a
unfortunately,
difference
with
between being an
anonymity-
asshole and being a troll.
And there's
There
a
is,
difference
but
between
with
harassing and being a troll.
well, there's levels. There's
But
levels.
when you don't have to reveal, who you are, you can always be a troll and an asshole.
Yeah, but
you don't ever have to.
I think
you know
we've
what I mean?
said over and over again on this podcast, and I think we're all in agreement on this, is that there are levels of behavior that are unacceptable no matter how anonymous you are. All right,
Yeah.
and
There are, but
you said it yourself.
where
Brad.
in the internet?
You said it yourself. You said it yourself very eloquently at the end of your bit. You know, it's one of those things where like taking him out in the street and shooting you like the degenerate you are and things like that. I mean, you said that's downright unacceptable. You know, it is.
It is.
And it doesn't matter who
It is.
you are, and it doesn't matter how anonymous you are. It doesn't even matter how justified you feel like you are. That's unacceptable behavior in any kind of environment.
You guys want to get angry over the comments over this?
Oh God!
And then
I'm scared.
And then where he made his comments, banned him.
Right.
Right.
They supervised the
But
behavior.
that
they
that is a
recognized the
service.
content is unacceptable, and they banned him. Which is really what they're calling for here.
So,
I mean, if you look at
but who is going to do this?
well, that's
No, that is what this discussion. I mean, they had like a 40 some odd page
Right.
report. One of them was basically one of the things that they were like, don't just have your terms of service sit there as just this is what we are.
A
Enforce
formality,
them.
and that's it.
Yeah, like enforce them.
right,
So,
which they were willing to do, which responsible, internet companies and
Companies should
everything
be
else
able to do.
are able to do.
Yeah, Riot probably a perfect example
Right.
of like what they're probably talking about. They would like to have
Right,
happen.
exactly. And yet, Mitch,
Yeah.
what was the reaction to this?
Oh God! All right.
Vitriol, I'm assuming.
We didn't get the soundbite for this, but we needed a crane lowering it. I couldn't find one.
Yeah. We had the Ghostbusters picture. If anybody remembers watching the Ghostbusters with I can't remember which one, but he was lowered into the river of sludge. It was like pure hatred.
It's the second one.
Is the second one?
Oh yeah, I know.
And he
God.
scoops
Oh,
out the
sludge.
pink sludge of pure like hatred being funneled down into the sewers of the city.
So I delved into there.
God.
I delved into there. There is a not only in like some YouTube comments or on Twitter. If you want to see some just sludge, just go look up the hashtag cyber assault.
Yeah.
Cyber assault. Look up that. But there is I happened to stumble upon this. There's like, I guess this is like a Gamergate subreddit. It's called Kotaku in Action. And there was I'll just read a few of these. I picked some juicy ones. I can think of literally nothing more privileged than being able to ask the UN to stop people from making fun of you on the internet.
In other words, this is a privilege. This is a privilege to be able to,
Guys, check your privilege.
Yeah. This is PC principle.
Yeah, that's right.
I
I checked your friend's privilege.
Yeah, I just checked your privilege. All right, so here's one. Where they go from here won't be... Oh, this was a good one. Where they go from here won't be dictated by logic or reason or reality, so despite the fact that they've given quite literally the biggest, loudest, highest possible forum from which to preach their dogma, they will each continue, quote, fighting the invisible enemy, and claiming that they're oppressed and that their voices do not matter, that their view is the outsider and a revolutionary one, and that they are somehow still underdogs punching up. Their whole narrative lacks any semblance of realism. It isn't burdened with the need of constant modification to match reality like more fact-based perspectives are. They live in a metafiction where their own words invent the reality that they believe in, so they are always without fear of being proven wrong or contradicted, because that would, of course, amount to harassment. What they are asking for here is governments to enforce laws of their social justice I always get this because the words like I took an image and shrunk it down. Metafiction. There's social justice metafiction.
And then beneath that is the comment, Anita will go for the money, Zoe will go for the power control. That's how it always has been. Like,
yeah.
This is a direct reflection of, again, what Jon Stewart was criticizing, people for. It's like, oh, well, people are saying it's white people crying out that they're taking the country away from us. And that sort of thing. There is facts. There are evidence, it's right there. It's right there in these
It
comments.
just proved it right
Right,
there.
exactly. I'm like,
I was
this
like,
is
do you
not-
know what you're fucking saying right now?
Right,
You were proving their
exactly.
point.
Exactly. You're
fucking
proving
point.
their point. The reaction, the overwhelming reaction, the fact that this trended. How fast, Mitch, was it that it took to get to the top?
Within probably about 20-30 minutes.
And how long did it stay there?
At least through the rest of that night.
Right.
I didn't
hours.
check the morning.
Okay, at least hours. All right.
It was at least. I mean,
constant-
we were at the point where you were getting multiple tweets a second.
Right, exactly. There it is. There's your evidence. There's like the fact that this reaction blew up over 15 minutes.
And the fact that they're pretty much they're denying it. They're
Right.
just like,
Oh, I got more. Here, hold on.
oh god,
Oh,
fuck.
yeah. This is why actual victims and those living poorly are pissed off by. I don't know whose this name is because it's like McIntosh or
Somebody else, I guess.
Somebody, yeah, I don't know who that. And gangs antics. These social justice warriors think they can role play as underprivileged, but they don't know the first thing about it, especially inexperience. And some of the most, once again, this is because I shrunk the image down. Red-pilled people out there are the downtrodden, considering they know all these pretty talk about helping them is false. The level of gall Anita and Zoe are displaying to complain that YouTube bullies are profiting by spreading hate about them, yet they themselves have turned their victimhood into a money-earning career.
Oh my god.
I know.
Just
It-
I can't.
Yeah.
Again, that's the money justification argument. Like, if they're making money and you're making money, why then it must all be okay? And it's like, well, no. First of all, okay, you're making. It's what are you making money for? This is not. You know, if we're going to include the money element, then what are you using the money for? One group is using it to try to promote a behavior that we can all stand behind. Check your bullshit at the door, okay? Don't bring that shit into esports.
But
Don't bring it onto an
wanna-
online forum. Don't harass people's family members. Don't do what was it the teenager did or whatever that we talked about a couple months ago or whatever.
What is it?
Where they call
shit,
it?
there's-
What's the term?
Doxing?
Yeah,
Doxing?
something like that. Yeah.
Where you call like the police,
Right.
or something.
Oh
Exactly.
no, that's the
Swatting.
we all
swatting.
basically
Swatting.
said,
Swatting.
okay, that's not cool. And it's one of those things like, none of this behavior is endorsed by anyone. And if you're making money to continue it, as people are against these two and others, you are not only taking in money, profiting from it, but you're putting it towards something that is nobody supports. That this is, or nobody should support. That this is all terrible behavior. It's like you're making money to call somebody a degenerate and that they should be out in the street and be shot. I mean, that's like profiting off of that. And you can't compare that with, okay, making money trying to help people. Okay, that's not the same thing. Just because money's involved in both places does not make both of those things equally justified, all right? Just like it's like, oh, well, there's other oppressed people out there. There's other genders, and what about transgender people? What about men and things like that? It's like, yes, there's oppression that happens to everybody, but it's not all equal, okay?
Now, I just want to throw in some more wood to the fire here.
Oh
But,
jeez.
I just...
Mitch, why?
Because it's worth pointing out how absurd this is. And it's far too easy to find the absurdity.
Yeah.
Far too
hashtag-
easy is right.
Irony and
Hashtag
absurdity.
cyber violence. If you want to see some people missing some points, we'll give you some missing some points. There's one. I've engaged in 3 instances of cyber violence in the last hour alone. Make me pay for my crimes. And then it's just like a picture of calling someone a bad name or whatever.
And again, people are like, they're singling out her saying, oh, people call me a bitch or a liar or whatever. I don't think that's what she's saying. She's saying the daily grind of that. Imagine waking up, right? And you log on, right? You're playing your favorite game or whatever. That's any multiplayer game whatsoever. You're not locked in a cave, right? You're online like most people are. And every time you log on, there's at least a few people, if not more than a few people, waiting to call you a bitch or a liar or a degenerate that should be taken out in the street and shot. Every day, 365 days a year. How long is it going to be before you decide you're just not going to log on anymore and you hate the fucking internet? I mean, it's one of those things where like driving people away, harassing them, getting, death threats or whatever, even just calling them a bitch or a whore or a liar every day. Most of us don't deal with that. Ben Affleck doesn't deal with that. Okay, it's one of those things where you may get shit now and again for a movie here and there. Tom Cruise may be called a fucking moron, for a year or two. But it's one of those things where it's like,
well, I'm pretty fair to say that I don't think there. I mean, maybe I don't know, but I don't think there's like a fuck Tom Cruise subreddit.
Right.
It's just purely against Tom Cruise.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where there
should be though.
Let's make it right.
Cruise.
And it's one of those things where these people generally have a whole lot more means to fight back against that stuff too. All right.
Here's some tweets. I looked up some tweets. What do you do when you're bullied in public and on the internet? Hashtag cyber violence. Nah, just stop being a faggot.
Wow. Well, that's offensive in multiple fucking ways.
Right.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like these people are representing the problem. I mean, essentially,
like you are not proving your point, gentlemen.
Yeah, in fact, you're just like winning points for the other side. It's one of those things where, again, this is distorting the issue. It's an issue distortion. It's like saying, well, anybody can handle being called a name on the playground. True, that's true. Not anybody can handle being called names multiple times on the playground every time they go on the playground. All right, that's
not
a whole
even that.
different
Just
thing.
imagine you went into school and everyone's
Right.
like, "Fuck you."
The
faggot,"
first time you
or
walk
like,
in the
whatever.
door, throughout the day, and then every day, you're not going to want to go to school anymore. You're going to be
might
like,
end up shooting up a school, maybe.
Yes, exactly. And
depending on your stability.
Here's the credit for these
God,
two.
I knew those kids in high school.
Here's the credit for
you're
these
like,
two.
it could be any day.
Instead
Any
of
day
shooting
now.
up the school, they're trying to do something good for this. That's where this is.
Yeah, but according to the vitriol online, fuck them.
Right, exactly.
Well,
And in
it's
spite of all that, they're still trying to do this.
Well, yeah, and then part of it, I mean, really the big thing on Twitter has been trying to, like, diminish what they're talking about. Because they're like, oh, you called me a name, that's cyber violence. And it's like, no, it's not. It's like what Brad said earlier. What was the line on your bit? Or I don't remember what it was.
His bit was about how you...
But what was the line the guy used?
It was a beautiful line. I mean, in the fact that it was horrible, but...
I don't remember. What was it?
Oh, the line. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I mean,
the line, guys.
there's a difference between if you're playing a game and God, you suck. But what he said was just over
right,
that
but that's
line
the
of
point, though. It's that that's what they're talking about, right? But people are diminishing it as like you suck.
Right.
They're trying to make it not as important.
Exactly.
Right. And then you have like
they're just trying to make it a running joke, and it's like it shouldn't be.
We're saying that one line was bad enough. Imagine multiplying that line by hundreds. Right? That's hundreds of people saying it different ways.
So basically, what they want is you've got your cyberbullying that they want to take care of. So they're saying that this needs to be taken care of.
Which we can get behind.
All right, which is amazing, awesome, and great, and I hope it happens. But the solution they're giving,
what, for ISPs and shit to do their job?
Ever going to happen?
I think it can happen by bits and pieces. I think you're right.
But people would take this shit seriously.
I don't think it's ever
maybe.
going to completely go away. I think you're right. Okay, well, there's no way we can. There will be new terms of service, and there'll be a few things, but unfortunately, this isn't your.
I think the biggest point they probably make in the whole thing is that, I mean, yeah, you can do things as far as like enforce the rules you set forth,
right?
But I think the biggest thing that they talk about
it's
is
not going to change
a cultural
anybody.
change.
Yeah.
Right, it's a cultural thing.
But that's the thing, and you know what? And no offense, this is a newer thing for what happened. Get in line because racism is still here.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we can't fucking get cops to stop shooting,
if you can't get rid of racism as a whole, people shooting cops shooting people.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't make it any less valid. That just it's just something else.
But
That's
it's gonna take a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's gonna take a lot more than two people going to the UN, and even ISPs, doing this. I mean, granted, you look at swatting as a whole.
Well, to be clear, just to clarify one thing, they're not talking about ISPs.
Oh, that was me bringing it up. Yeah,
doing anything different than they're already doing.
In a lot of ways, yeah. I mean, basically.
Yeah, but like I said during the bit, what's to keep this guy from he's saying that the game sucks. He's not gonna play anymore. What keeps him from going to Google, getting a new Google account, and then logging on League of Legends, which is a free-to-play game, and just starting over?
Nothing at this time, and maybe nothing.
No different than banning somebody from using YouTube.
But wait. What you're ignoring in that, okay, is that an action has been taken. It has been seen by other people as being taken. It is sending a message to other people that says, okay, this is not okay. And regardless of how this weasel might get around it at some point, we are taking an official stand in front of all of you and saying, this is not okay. We here at Riot will not support this. That sends a community message. Even if he figures out a way to dodge it and get around it, it's one of those things where it's like, that at least is a company saying, you know what, not cool. And
in one way, you've either dealt with it because he's not going to do it again and risk of losing everything, or B, that he does it again and you do the same thing.
Right, and that's two messages.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where you can't ignore the push for example, like people like Jon Stewart or anybody else, any major figures in the public eye. Every single voice that gets up and says, this is not cool, is another voice that might reach someone else that they might agree with that particular person, not this other person. They might say, okay, now it's 10 people saying it, or now it's 100 people saying it. Maybe I should reconsider or something like that. And even if it's just 1 or 2 people that reconsider their thoughts, that's again even more progress. It's one of those things where it's like, yes, you're never going to get everybody, but that's not the point. The point is to get more people. The point is to change the tide in general. The point is to change the culture. And that's collaboration among media and technology unions, association, clubs, organizations, professionals, networks, telecoms, policymakers, things like that. It's like, okay, let's all come together on this and basically agree that, okay, we're going to try to push for this. We're going to try to educate people on this. And Brad, you're exactly right. I don't think it'll actually ever go away. I don't think it can, to be honest. I don't think it's a problem that can ever actually be, in a medical term, cured. I don't think that's possible. I think people grow up needing to learn these things. This is why we have education. This is why we have cultural traditions and things like that. It's because people forget. It's because new people come in who have been born and things like that, who have never seen this stuff before. It's because people need to be reminded over and over again, every year, every generation. This is not okay, and that sort of thing. Or what new things do we need to accept, such as transgender people? I mean, that wasn't even a conversation 50 years ago. It's one of those things where it's like, this will progress and change. And yes, we will always be dealing at the basic level with, people discriminating against other people, because people do that. It's part of what people do, and that's fine.
Because humans are assholes.
Yeah, but exactly. It's not even necessarily that
we
they
like our
know
tribalism. Damn it!
I grew up like this. This is what my family believes. I will look. I'll be
That's
the first
no
to say.
Excuse.
I'll be the first to say on this program that my parents are racist. All right, that's who they are, and they both are that way. My father's slightly more apologetic about it, but he's still plenty racist. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't consider myself to be as nearly as racist as they are. I might even be racist in some ways that I'm not aware of. But it's one of those things where it's like, you're right, Beth. It's not an excuse to not change, but people do grow up with families like that. They do grow up with role models like that. And it's one of those things where at some point along the line, I was glad to have another point of view. I was glad to have somebody else who said, that's not cool, and these are the reasons why it's not cool, and that's why I respect that people come from different places, and that's fine, but it's one of those things where that's why they need to hear these counter messages. That's why they need to have people like Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn getting up there and saying, look, this is a real issue, regardless of what your friends might say, regardless of what your family might say, regardless of what your community might say. This is an issue. And you need to hear about it. You may not have heard about it before. You may not even realize it's an issue. We're here to tell you it is. And that's important.
So what we're going to do is we are going to link. I'm not going to link the video because that's just going to spread some more vitriol around. what I'm going to do is I'm going to
All the
link
hate.
the report, and then you can take it as a like as the text it is, and you can make your own informed decision. And that
And
way
we hope
you,
it's an informed decision.
I hope so. Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and
It's not
informed-
just
look,
based off of a knee-jerk
right.
reaction.
right. That's why I
Exactly.
said we'll put the text. All right, it's removed from people or anything else. It's just what's written on the page, and you can take it for what it is.
But you know, here's the other thing, all right, folks. There are going to be people you disagree with in life, all right? But
I disagree
here's-
with this asshole constantly.
Right, exactly, exactly. We disagree on this show all the time, but that doesn't mean you can't listen to them. That doesn't mean you can't consider what they have to. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily change your mind, okay? Although that might help, okay? But it's one of those things where you can stand your ground and still listen. All right, there's a big problem in this country where you feel like you paint someone as the opposite, you paint them as the other, you paint them as the enemy. They're social justice warriors, they're politically correct, whatever name you want to apply to. They're liberals, they're conservatives, whatever. Okay, and then you dismiss them after you label them. And it's
So
like,
you don't even listen to what they have to
that's
say
right.
at all.
That's right. Exactly. And it's like, at least listen. You don't have to agree, but you do have an obligation to at least listen to what they have to say, to consider it for a moment and think, okay, even if it contradicts what you believe, right? Even if everything else in your brain is saying, oh, this is bullshit, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, let it in there for just a moment and try to consider it for a moment. And
What's that
then you
quote?
can go back to saying it's bullshit or whatever if you want, you know?
What's the quote that we came up with earlier?
Oh,
I
that
saw-
was F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Yeah, you want to read that one off?
Yeah. God. I you know what? It should have been on
If you
there.
can find it.
Amateur hour.
Baby Town Frolics.
Baby Town
Baby Town Frolics. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. So the test of
Okay.
a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. That's
There you
F.
go.
Scott Fitzgerald, you know, and basically it's like, yes, it's difficult. We know it is. But it's one of those things where it's part of a complex, non-binary, intelligent thought process, all right? So there. That's what you have to do.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up. We'll link all that. We're glad to be back in full strength for the super long episode.
Yeah, this is a really, really good one.
Yeah, I said it was good. We talked about a lot. We hope you enjoy it. Spread the word. Spread the word of Pause Your Game on Twitter, Facebook,
Yes.
all the other medias. We'll see you all next week.
Yepers. Bye.